Just the feeling that I get coming through here is pretty intense. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's self-conscious or anything, but just feels such a powerful feeling, on the walk here to the falls, and just the water to me seems really powerful, and like the man-made caves and stuff. I don't know much of the history in this area, but to me it seems like a lot has gone on. That there's a lot that people don't know.
You want to talk about the little girl?
Yeah, the little girl got raped a few years back. I think I can't remember. I think it was in the 1980s maybe. She was raped and killed just back a couple of 100 meters back up there. Last time I come here, just feeling the intense power again. I'd never noticed her grave before, and actually just kind of stumbled at the flowers and stuff. That was pretty intense for me. Yeah, just crazy feelings. Well, me and my ex-partner Nikki, we built a house down renowned Kawaha Point. Which is, in history, is a Māori war ground. There was lots of battles fought there, a lot of people died. The area we built in was like an enclosed area, which was where a lot of the battle went on. And just some freaky stuff started happening after we built the house. Just freaky noises in the night, and it never felt right for me. Always got the feeling that someone was watching, or it just didn't feel right. The air didn't feel right, the karma didn't feel right. It started to get worse up to a point, which was in the last week, when a particular incident happened where I got up in the middle of the night and thought someone was in the house. Got up really, turned on all the lights, and was just convinced there was somebody in the house. I actually felt someone run past me in the bathroom, which kind of freaked me out quite a bit. I looked around, quite frightened, trying to find, who I thought was in the house. At that moment, about 5 seconds later, the rubbish bag in the kitchen fell over and smashed the bottle on the ground. I instantly ran out to the kitchen, and as I stepped into the front of through the door from the hallway, the feeling in there was so intense. I don't know, it was like a force field of energy, and it really drained me. It's hard to describe. It was really weird, and I was really frightened at that point, and walked back to my room. And by the time I got there, the feeling was so intense, and my body was drained from the experience. I had to hold myself up against the wall and actually kind of collapsed on the floor. Just, yeah, really weird experience. Felt so many emotions at the time. Just the whole body drain. I couldn't do much. I sat there for a while and then decided that I wanted to go back and try it again and see if I felt the same thing. And I went back actually 2 times and felt, every time I went back, just the feeling was too intense. Just too intense to go on there, just like I said before, force field.
Would you say it got stronger, or did it stay the same each time?
To me, it actually got stronger, I would say. And you know, every time I went out, I seemed to get more and more drained, and it just got to a point where, you know, I just didn't want to go back because the, you know, feeling was too intense, and I felt like I'd just done a marathon, you know. Yeah, it was a really scary experience, and actually I told some of my workmates at work the next day, and actually hooked on to my boss, and his dad is a kāmatua, and he referred us to him. He rang him up and asked him if he could come down that day and see us. Okay, yeah, no, he'd never met us before. He came into work, and my girlfriend was working there at the time with me. She was a receptionist. He come straight up to us, like I said, never met us before, and instantly just walked up to us and knew what had happened, you know. Could see a lot of evil in Nikki. He actually hugged her, and she said she felt weak at the knees when he hit her, and he just could feel so much evil in the both of us, more in Nikki. And he asked her if she'd been getting chest pains at night when she'd go to sleep, and she goes, yeah, I have. And he goes, well, you have got a presence in your house, and it's a Māori warrior who's quite cheesed off because you've built in his area that, you know, it's where he died, and he's been jumping on your chest at night. So that was kind of freaky. We made an appointment to see him that night to come around and bless our house. We actually had to go pick him up, and with the experience we went and picked him up, and he had 3 Bibles, and I actually also took my son there too, and he could feel presence of evil in him too, and he was also having unsettled nights. And as we drove to our house down Kawaha Point, he blessed us with the Bible and did a lot of Māori karakias, and just blurted off a lot of Māori chants and stuff. And I remember at the time it felt really weird, and I was kind of sceptical and didn't really believe. But by the time we got to our house and I stepped out of the car, which, I don't know, it just felt like I was walking on a cloud. Just the bodies felt cleansed, and the same goes with Nikki. She said exactly the same thing. He picked our area superbly, like just area. He picked the 2 kids next door who were really like out of control kids, and he just picked their personalities to a T, and he didn't know them from a bar of soap. He could presence evil all around the area. Said a lot of people had died. He continued to start blessing the outside of our house, and he did a perimeter just around the house, and no more evil could get in. And then he asked if he could go into the house by himself. He walked around, went into the hallway, and immediately saw the presence that he had felt, which was a Māori warrior. And that Māori warrior tried to dodge him through the rooms, and he actually kind of chased him, and all he was trying to do was dodge him. And he held the Bible up the whole way he was walking. And he said the Māori warrior actually climbed out the window, and he pushed him outside the perimeter that he had, he had blessed. And he said that the Māori warrior was trying to get back in, but he couldn't because, it was blessed now. So, and he, after all that, just everything felt so nice in that house. We could sleep at night. There was no noises from that day, not one noise. Just the air felt cleaner. There was no bad karma. It felt really nice. And like my little boy, he never had an unsettled night after that. He was just going straight to bed. Normally he'd get up a few times, but ever since then he was just, it was lights out every night. He would go straight out. And she had such a weird experience because I never believed in that kind of stuff, And yeah, totally after experiencing all that, I'm a total believer now, and believe that there is an afterlife, and there are ghosts that come back that have got unsettled business, or yeah, just really am a believer now. The owner of the subdivision actually heard about us getting the house blessed, and actually come over the next day and knocked on my door, and was actually quite angry when he saw me, and kind of yelled at me for a few minutes, and I couldn't get a word in. He just said that I couldn't let any of this get out, that there is a lot of history in that area, and a lot of the Māori land wars were actually fought right there and then, where his subdivision was, and where a lot of the houses were built. And he said if it got out, then it would be. And he was really quite angry, and I couldn't really see, how he could sell so many houses to people and not actually let them know the history of the land. And he's trying to get us, sweet of secrecy, but by then, half the people in the neighbourhood knew already. And another freaky thing, there's an actual big huge rock, which is huge. It must be about, I don't know, 6 metres wide by 6 metres tall. Big triangle shape with holes in it. Weird rock, eh? It's huge. And history says that it was a crying rock. And the Māoris had traditions like that, if the warriors who died in the land wars, they would wrap up presents and weaved flax and take them to the rock and cry and mourn for the dead. So yeah, the rock had lots of holes, maybe carved into it. I don't know if they were carved. The holes actually look quite smooth, so I don't know exactly how the holes were formed in the rock. But yeah, it was just a place where the women and children went to mourn the warriors that had died and pay respect.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of sorrow has been trapped in that place or around that rock.
You can almost feel it just walking around. And you can just feel the history. To me, you can feel the history. I've asked a lot of people who have actually come to my house as visitors and asked them the same thing, if they can feel the history. Some of them have said no, they can't feel it, they think it's a nice place, and 80% of the people have actually agreed and said they can actually feel the bad karma, or they can feel there is a bit of history there. And a lot of people who come to that subdivision are amazed by the huge rock. It's just a rock in the middle of the grass that you just wouldn't pick it to be there. It's weird. It's solid in the ground, so it must go 6 metres under the ground too. It's a huge rock. Maybe it was blown from the Tarawera eruption back in the early 1800s. I don't know. That wasn't my only experience in the house. I had experienced 2 images before that. It was months before that any of that stuff actually ever happened. One night I woke up, this was when Nikki was pregnant with my baby. I woke up and saw a nanny figure, which she was holding 2 babies. And she had no face. And at that stage I didn't really feel a bad presence. It felt like a good presence, so I was sensing that she was there to watch over Nikki. Yeah, that's all I can really put to it. It didn't feel bad at all. I didn't get scared. Just the no face was kind of scary, but I don't know. Just felt a warm presence. Felt almost like an angel.
Was it the same with the cloak figure?
Yeah, the cloak. Oh no, not with the cloak figure. The cloak figure felt really evil. And again, there was another experience where the bed shook, and it felt like an earthquake, and I was paralysed because I tried to move and I couldn't get up at all. And the figure actually he had a cloak on, and he came right up my face. And again, he had no face, no expression or anything. And as I looked at him, he just faded away. And as he faded away to the side, the bed shook more. And that actually woke up Nikki, and she was thinking what the hell was going on, and she thought there was an earthquake. And I told her, and she was freaked out. And then immediately after telling her, I got so many thoughts, so many evil thoughts in my head.
Talk about the car.
Yeah. Nikki's friends had just bought a car from Auckland, which was imported from Japan. From the moment I saw that car, I got a real bad feeling about it. I just had a real bad vibe, and they kept it in the garage that night. So I pinpointed that experience happening from that car, I would say. And her friends were actually around there that night previously, and had said to her brother, who was living with us, that they should go for a drive the next day in the car to Tauranga. And it was uncanny, because the thoughts I got after seeing that image were just thoughts of that car was going to crash the next day, and that I needed to tell Nikki's brother that he shouldn't go on that trip tomorrow with him. And I did actually get up really early in the morning and went and told him that he shouldn't go, and he actually listened to me. He actually believed me, and he didn't go. But Nikki's friends still went, and they did actually crash on the way. Completely totaled the car, but actually none of them got hurt. So yeah, that was a relatively scary experience. Just on that occasion, just felt a lot of evil, and I could not get to sleep that night at all. Just worried about it the whole night, and still felt bad, and Nikki couldn't get to sleep.
Describe the thoughts. I mean, like when you say you had all these thoughts going through your head,
just
was it
thoughts of evil, thoughts of
so not just about the car and the crash?
No, it wasn't just about the car and and her brother and stuff. It was just, I don't know, an evil presence, like real scary presence. It's hard to I know it's hard to put it to something. Just got a lot of evil thoughts. I felt bad. I felt, I don't know, almost out of control. That I felt like I could do something evil. I just had a real bad feeling.
Really? So you think it was projected on you? I mean, like you said, you had evil thoughts about yourself as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it's almost like the person come right up to my face and got scared, and that's why he faded to the side. Because I couldn't move and just stared at him, and it almost felt like he got scared, and that's why I think he moved to the side. Maybe he didn't expect me to see him, or
whoa,
I don't know. It's weird. Real weird experiences. But as I say, ever since stuff happened, I've got the Kaumātua out, and he blessed the house, nothing ever happened after that. It just felt so great, and just such a different feeling.